One. Welcome, everybody, to episode 206 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
Will.
Corey.
No Eric again this week. Eric just returned home from being out of town for almost a week today, so he wanted to go home and probably play some Batman, I would think.
Probably.
He, as I said, was awesome enough to let me borrow his console while he was out of town for me to play, so I'm sure he's chomping at the bit. I would be too. But he's also tired from traveling, and he pretty much worked the entire trip he was gone. So
Jet lagged.
Yeah, he's relaxing at home. Hopefully playing. I hope he's playing Batman. Really do. Today's topic is going to be Nintendo NX console speculation. There's been some talk floating around about the Nintendo NX for a little while now. There was some stuff that happened at E3 that made me want to talk about this, and then the Nintendo CEO, President Iwata, had some comments in an interview that were interesting, so I figured it would be a good time to talk about what we think the new Nintendo console is going to be like, when it's coming out, etc., etc. What we want to see in it, too.
It is still kind of wild speculation at this point because there really isn't much concrete about it out
It is
right now.
very wild speculation, and they were purposely quiet on details, mum on the details, especially during E3 for a specific reason, but we'll get into that in a minute. Anything anyone wants to tease before we get started?
I played a new video game. Two new video games.
Nice.
2.5 new video games. One being Colot. That's the I didn't know anything about it till I saw it on Steam, and it got really good reviews on Steam. But it's based on the Dyatlov Pass incident in Russia, where all those hikers died.
Yeah.
For an unexplained reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like an action-adventure horror game based on that, but I'll talk about it a little bit later. I also played Frozen Cortex, which is a futuristic sports game.
Okay.
And I downloaded and booted up Terraria version 1.3. The new patch came out this week, and I'm excited to talk a little bit about that. I wanted to play with Will, but it didn't materialize very well. And I also played Fallout 3 with mods.
Oh, cool.
So
Fallout 3.
yes.
I gotta start playing some Fallout pretty soon.
Oh, and if we have time, depending on how long this episode runs, GameSpot had a good article on the games that were missing from E3. So
cool.
If you want to run through that for a roundtable, if we have the time, I would be happy to chat about those.
Sounds good. Will, anything to tease?
I played, honestly, a little Heroes. I've been really busy. I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and play it a whole lot recently. But other than Heroes, I didn't even get a chance to play the new hero yet in the new map.
Okay.
So,
Butcher?
Yep, the Butcher. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but
Nice.
didn't get a chance to play it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I played a little more Batman Arkham Knight. Actually, a lot more Batman Arkham Knight. I'll talk a little bit about it. We're going to do an episode on Batman Arkham Knight next week when Eric's here and has played it. So
I want to play it. Do you have it,
that'll-
Will?
No.
Yeah.
I would have it on PC.
It's really freaking good. Yeah, you don't want to have it on PC.
Exactly. It's been pretty terrible.
Yeah,
We'll
I
talk-
don't think it's fixed yet, but
We'll talk about that.
yeah. So let's get into the main segment, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
But
So what prompted me with this, the idea for this episode, was Iwata's comments about, and you might have the exact quotes there, Corey, about Nintendo didn't want to show anything at E3 regarding the Nintendo NX because they didn't want competitors to steal their ideas.
It's funny, I do have that exact quote. It was, "We can't talk about the NX. If we do, competitors may take our ideas and customers won't be surprised."
Right.
Which I read that a couple different places. One of the goals of the NX will be to surprise gamers.
Cool. Yeah, it's exciting. And a lot of this came about, too, because a lot of people think that with the poor showing of Wii U games at E3 for Nintendo, that the Wii U is kind of being left in the dust now for the next console. Even Miyamoto came out. I think he had an interview with somebody, too, and said that the tablet controller came about as a second screen to play games and stuff on, and when they were starting to develop the console, they didn't have, tablets weren't really a huge thing yet like they are now. He said he thinks that's part of the problem, that people didn't see the need to have the controller be a tablet too, when you probably already have a tablet or a phone that you would, which I know you've talked about, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
a few times. Which I mean, I guess I never thought of it that way. I always thought of it as just it was that was the controller.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
But that was one of the. He talked about why the Wii U didn't sell that well, and he thinks that's one of the reasons. Mismarketing too. Obviously, we've talked. A lot of people probably didn't know it was a different thing. It looks the same, it's got the same name kinda. So people probably didn't know it was a whole new product. But yeah, let's talk about what we think Nintendo's got cooking up their sleeves. Corey, I don't know if you want to add any more of Iwata's comments or.
Sure. So basically, all we know are what Iwata and Dan, you threw a Miyamoto quote out there. Like that's all we really know about the console. There was a rumor going around, which I think is quite telling based on my speculation. Rumor going around that the NX will be based on Android. It's since been kind of debunked.
Yeah.
But not really.
I guess the website, the Japanese website that put that is credible, and they've been right about Nintendo before, and Nintendo's has bunked them before, but ended up this game site was, I think it was a tech site, ended up being correct all along. So,
So a couple other things Iwata said, and I pulled these quotes from all over. I was just basically scouring the internet for any information on the NX. Iwata said, "If you only expand upon existing hardware, it's dull. In some shape or form, we're always thinking about how we want to surprise players as well as our desire to change each person's video gaming life." And that's another key point for me, in addition to the console being potentially based on Android or, a big Android influence. And he also said the NX is new hardware and will start from zero. However, the 3DS and Wii U have install bases immediately cutting off software for previous hardware upon the release of a new machine is inefficient. So basically saying, even though we announced this new console, we're not going to give up on what's already out there.
Right.
But that's one of those things you kind of have to say.
Yeah.
There are a few other quotes, but basically all variations on that same theme. There was one I read like a week ago, and I can't find it now, but it was talking about how gamers' lives have changed, and just now the technology is there to keep up with it. I'm paraphrasing. So that's another big part of what I think will play into this new console when it comes out. But I don't want to jump ahead, Dan. They also said more details coming next year, so we'll know a lot more next year.
Some people think they're even going to release it like holiday next year.
It's possible. I read that it could be as early as the end of next year.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
How long's the Wii U been out? Like 4 years? 3?
3 years, I think.
2011?
What?
Right?
No.
I don't know.
I think it was 2012. Early 2012, maybe.
So that's a quick turnaround.
That is a quick turnaround. If it came out in 2017, that would be 5 years. That's probably average, maybe a little quick, but
you're right, Dan. 2012.
Okay, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 had really long lives.
I was gonna say the PS3 and Xbox 360 were a long time.
Yep. So that wasn't typical generally of how long a system was out. Yeah, I mean, what do we want to see in it? First of all, no, what do we should start with what do we think we're gonna see on it? Obviously, the rumor is it's Android based. I can imagine that they'll have some sort of mobile integration with their purchase of, what was the mobile thing that they bought?
DNA.
Dana or Dina.
Well, they're partnering with them.
Yeah. I can imagine there'll be some sort of, see what I think they're gonna do, because I think they like the idea of second screen gameplay. I think they're gonna have some sort of controller, but with maybe an attachment for a tablet or a phone on it to play the different screen games. Because one of the features I really liked about the Wii U was being able to not even have the television on, or have someone else be watching something on the television and play something on my Wii U on the tablet screen. I think I probably played 50 hours worth of Hyrule Warriors that way, and other games, just on the tablet controller. So I think they kind of like that idea. I think they're gonna try and use that on their next console too, or their next game hardware. Who knows what it's gonna end up technically being, but
I'm kind of with you on that, Dan, but I think they're going to take it even further, and I think it's not only going to be just a detachable whatever. I think it's going to be, you're going to get your handheld console all in one. It's going to be like a 3DS Wii U all in one that's very portable. And when you get home, you can just plug it right into your TV and play your big TV games, take it with you on the road.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was too.
That's not a bad idea.
That would be my guess. And I kept pointing out all the things that were telling me that, like the Android compatibility, if it's tied into mobile really well, it could even be a phone, a phone that is your 3DS, and when you get it home, you can plug it into your TV and play your games. Nintendo, I don't think, like, they can't really keep up with. I mean, they could make a console that's as powerful as the current gen, but I don't really see a reason to, because the third-party support isn't there for games. So, what's the point? People are still going to buy Zelda, Mario, your Nintendo standbys, regardless of what the hardware is. So it doesn't have to be a home console,
Right.
People would buy a 3DS, and people have bought a 3DS just to play those games that they know and love from Nintendo.
Right.
So why not just go with something that's super portable, but also very easy to plug into your TV and still looks beautiful on your 60-inch 4K television?
Yeah. Oh, 4K. Yeah. Well, one of the things I thought was, I mean, you can really dig into the Iwata's comment about wanting competitors to copy him. It's really too late, I think. Even if they did announce some details for like Sony and Microsoft at this point, to be like, hey, that's a really good idea. We should do something similar, especially hardware wise. That stuff goes into development like way before you even hear about it.
Yeah.
So I think it would have to be like an easy feature to copy, or a software type of thing to copy.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think a hardware device. I don't disagree with what you're saying, Corey.
Yeah,
it'd be right on the money there.
And just if you want to talk about phones, like, just imagine a phone, and this is another iteration, but a phone that could just stream all your Nintendo games.
Yeah. Maybe have like a Roku stick type of thing that you just plug into a HDMI port, and you play, like you said, play on your whatever phone handheld thing, but it also streams to the television via Wi-Fi direct, similar to the Wii U, but with having all the computing hardware be on the device, so it is portable too.
I was reading a Reddit thread, and I wish I could credit the person, but I can't. Somebody else speculated that the NX is like a case for your phone, and the case not only is a really good controller, but it's also like processing power add-on kind of thing, so you could play your Nintendo games that way, just on your phone, wherever, whenever.
Right. Huh. That's interesting.
And your phone is just your screen that displays it.
Yeah. I do think it is going to have some sort of integration. Like I said, the comments from Miyamoto about the second screen type of thing, I really think that's probably the direction they're going to be going,
Yeah.
Although ideally, like, what I would like to see is just a really powerful, inexpensive console, like an old console,
Uh-huh.
How do you think that would go over?
A just like a high-powered console?
Yeah.
I
As long as
mean,
they price down.
Again, like, I don't see what the point is.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the I know they always say that they're gonna try and woo third-party developers. They never end up doing it, or not recently anyway. But a lot of that is because the Wii U or the Nintendo consoles are generally underpowered compared to the other ones, and have a weird control scheme.
Yeah.
The developers, the third party especially, didn't want to develop for. Even Nintendo really didn't want to develop for the tilt and touch and the second screen, all that stuff. So I wondered if they would just go old school direction and try and compete with, because Sony and Microsoft don't have anything that comes close to comparing to Mario and Zelda and Donkey Kong and Samus and stuff like that. So if they were to go ahead and make a powerful console that at this point you could make for $300 or $400 and be more powerful than the PS4 and Xbox One to come out next year.
Didn't they say that we wouldn't see anything with Metroid until the NX too?
Yeah, I think I heard something like that.
So maybe it is a console.
I don't know. that's why we're speculating.
Another thing that makes me think there's some sort of big mobile tie-in and like on-the-go gaming and portability and all. That's another reason why I think those things are going to be so huge is that the producer of Mario Kart 8 is now overseeing their mobile development. And you could argue that Mario Kart, wasn't it our game of the year?
No. It was Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, you could argue
second or third though.
You could argue the best game on the Wii U was Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And if you think of it that way, like they're putting their top talent on mobile development.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their top producer. We had a feedback listener thoughts shared on Facebook from Jonathan. Jonathan, I apologize, I don't know where you're from, but Jonathan says he listed a few bullet points about what the NX must do. NX must outperform the current generation of consoles.
So that's what I think too.
I disagree with that. I don't think it has to.
Right.
For the reason I brought up before, they don't have all those third-party games, so like what's the point? They're basically developing for themselves. And maybe you'll get a third-party game here and there, but it'll be based on a deal that Nintendo has struck with this publisher, and it's going to be an exclusive anyway.
Right.
So
like Bayonetta.
Yeah, people don't buy Nintendo devices to play those games.
Well, it's just because it was underpowered. That's generally why.
But they've gotten away with it for so long, and that support isn't there. So what's the point in making a console that may or may not get that support?
Right. I think they could with the right hardware. Like it's got to be simple, it's got to be powerful, and I think that if they do that, they can woo third-party developers back.
Yeah, it can't have a weird controller with a weird control scheme.
Right. Exactly. Or being underpowered as compared to the other consoles.
If the Wii U Pro controller was like the controller for the Wii U, I feel like they would have a lot better chance getting third-party.
That's a great controller. It's a great controller.
Yeah.
Go ahead though.
Must be both mobile and home console. That's kind of what I said.
Yeah. You think they're going to start like merging the 3DS and the home console? That's kind of what they're going to go with their next hardware.
Yeah. I mean that was my main speculation.
Rather than having a separate console and portable gaming system.
I mean, people their portable gaming systems, the 3DS and the DS, and all those sold like gangbusters.
Yeah,
that's their bread and butter, really.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that makes me think like, oh, maybe not. Because if they can eke out a console where people still buy Mario and Zelda, then they can also sell the 3DS, a new handheld kind of thing. So I don't know if they can double dip. They surely will, but I imagine they figured out the cost of all that versus what they could rake in software, and I think they've justified to themselves to just have one. But again, this is all wild speculation.
Right, right. We're very interested on details, but continue with Jonathan's.
Must be triple backwards compatible Wii, Wii U, and also 3DS games.
That would be fantastic.
That'd be nice, yeah.
And that's one of the things I like about Nintendo, because even GameCube games run on the Wii U, and that's important to me. Some people don't like to go back and play old games, but I do. That's why Steam is so great, because especially a lot of the games that you can't find anywhere else, they're on Steam, and I like to go back and play my old games. That's just something I've always done. So backwards compatibility is huge for me, even if it's not like disc based. If they can somehow put it, even if it was digital or whatever, and just ties to your account now, that would be fine. But I do want to be able to play my old games or any old games.
Yeah, I think one of the problems with that is the digital, like you started talking about, Dan.
Distribution,
the digital distribution, because I own very few hard copies of games anymore, and once I stop playing them, I get rid of them. So backwards compatibility means very little to me. It would be nice if whatever this NX is sort of does what Apple does with their
I was just going to say something like that, because Nintendo's coming out with a new like Club Nintendo rewards thing, and I wonder if that's tied in. If these games are going to be tied to your account, your Nintendo account, and then you'll be able to just carry those, from now on in your Nintendo universe.
Exactly. And that sort of speaks to the partnership with DNA, who's handling their online infrastructure.
Yeah.
If there is a nice, streamlined, easy to understand, easy to add friends to Nintendo Online thing that is basically an app, more or less, I think that would be really good. And like you said, buy your games and just have them on this platform.
A la Steam.
Yes. Steam, Apple, Android.
Yep.
Must be able to use standard controllers and motion controls.
I agree with that. I never cared much for the motion controls other than just to show off, especially when the Wii U first came out. It was really cool, but I don't generally like the motion thing.
Nope. It's still always been a gimmick to me until motion control is one-to-one, like it is with a controller.
Yeah.
And you have complete control over what you're doing.
Yeah.
I really have very little need for motion controls.
You don't like the jank?
I don't like the jank. It's a gimmick, some things are cool for like a day, and then
Wii Bowling was probably the best example of
the Wii Sports was great.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was kind of a waste. You played Skyward Sword, Corey.
Oh, it was awful. Was
it too much moving?
Well, I've told this story a bunch on the podcast, but the time I played Skyward Sword, was it Skyward Sword, or was it the one before that? It was Twilight Princess. Because I think Skyward Sword you didn't have to use motion controls, right?
Twilight Princess
you did, but Skyward Sword.
Did you? Because it came out on GameCube too.
Yeah, it did.
But I had it on Wii.
Oh.
And you had to use the nunchuck to swing your sword. And the one time I played it was weekend I was sick, so I was laying in bed constantly having to lift my arm up and swing my sword, and it was the last thing I wanted to do.
That's right, I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
It's pain. Mm-hmm. And Jonathan's last point, must have free online play.
I agree with that. I can't see paying for online. I really don't.
Especially if you own all 3 consoles and having to pay online for all of them.
Exactly, yeah.
That adds up.
Because it's, even if you get a deal, it's still like $40 a year. If you own your console for 5 or 6 years, you're looking at close to $200 extra on top of the cost of the console itself.
And then multiply that for your other 2 platforms that you have.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Free online plays is if Steam can do it, everyone should do it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Steam has a very good. I would argue that Steam has the best online platform.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
between
I would agree.
All of them.
Yeah,
and they do it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's all from Jonathan. Didn't Eric have some thoughts he wanted to share?
Yes, he did. Yeah, they're in our text messages.
You want me to read them?
Sure.
Eric says, who could not be present, basically, I think the NX is going to be some form of tablet similar to the gamepad for Wii U. It will just be far more technologically advanced and will also mean we've seen the last handheld system with the 3DS XL. No need anymore with this tablet and mobile games coming. Yeah,
so he's kind of saying what we were saying,
Yeah.
It's going to be some sort of. I really think that that I don't know if the Reddit user you were talking about, Corey, that with the NX being like a controller and processing power, and you just attach that to your phone.
That'd be crazy.
I think that would be hard to do, but that makes the most sense because most people, even I have a phone now.
Yeah.
Like everyone has a phone pretty much, or a tablet or some sort of device. So, if you could lower the cost a little bit of, the screen or whatever and just sell that.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
That would be neat.
As long as it plays well on a television too,
And I think it will. That's what I think it'll be your all-in-one home console and on-the-go handheld gaming thing. It would be great if it could just be your phone and you could just stream everything at all times. To not have to carry another thing, but I think it's going to be its own form factor. I just think it'll be a mobile form factor.
Yeah.
Now maybe it's even got like a retractable HDMI cable that once you get home you can just plug it right into your TV.
That's what my Shield does.
Bluetooth connect to your Pro controller and you got a home console.
Yeah, that's what my Shield tablet does. It's got an HDMI out for plugging into the TV and streaming games to it.
Now, what would disappoint you guys with Nintendo announcing something, whatever, for the NX? What would be the most disappointing thing for you? Because there's always that possibility.
Yeah, probably no backwards compatibility.
Okay.
I think that would frustrate me to no end.
Mm-hmm. Corey?
Do you even have any Wii U games, Dan?
Yeah, I've got like Wii U games.
Do you still have your Wii U?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I thought I was gonna say I play it all the time. I just got Splatoon.
Oh, that's right.
Splatoon for it. It's a fantastic game.
I'm thinking about trading mine in.
If you don't play it, there's not a lot of reason for you to keep it.
That makes me sad that you want to trade it in.
I play mine all the time.
Rarely play it. Maybe like once a month I'll play Wii U games. And it's usually when somebody comes over. To answer your question, Will, what would really disappoint me?
Yeah.
If they just did the same old song and dance.
Oh, yeah. Same here with that.
You
I
know?
don't see that happening this time.
But an even better gamepad.
No, instead of a gamepad, it's a phone, but doesn't work as a phone. It's just a screen with virtual controls on it.
Oh,
Because that's what people want.
I can't play games with virtual controls. I just can't. I've tried playing like even the Final Fantasy remake for Android. I can't. I have to use the Shield controller.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't blame you. I want to get a one of the maybe like Logitech controllers for my phone, but they're just so expensive right now.
Just get
It's just plastic, you know.
Just get a DualShock 2. They're still like $30 though.
Really?
Yeah, they're Bluetooth. They'll connect to your phone.
No, I kind of want something that I can hold and, holds my screen.
They make like clips that you can.
I know, but they're expensive.
Yeah, they are. The clip is like $20 on top of the DualShock controller that you have to buy separate, which is like 35.
That's way too expensive.
Yeah.
And most of them aren't. I don't know about the DualShock, but most of I forget what they're called. There's words for them. Doesn't matter. Most of the ones you attach aren't compatible with games. Like certain ones are compatible to certain controllers, certain ones are compatible to others, and it's a mess right now.
Yep. While they sort that out and get standards,
Yeah.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Nintendo?
I don't have anything.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I wanted to have that conversation because it kind of sucks that the Wii U's kind of fallen by the wayside. But they've only sold like 11 million systems in 3 years or whatever. So I understand them wanting to
Move on fast.
move on and reorganize.
I just hope it's for the better.
Yeah, I think it will be. Really, like Corey said he doesn't want to see the same old song and dance. I agree because the Wii U was more of the same from the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Wii was kind of flash in a pan.
Yeah, you're right. It was.
Because that was the new gimmick. I don't know that they sold like 140 million Wii's or something like that, something crazy like that.
120 of them probably are Netflix and Wii Sports boxes.
Yeah. That it wasn't developed with gamers in mind. It probably was, but that's not how it ended up.
No.
So.
And they've sort of admitted failure with the Wii U, so.
Yeah.
We're not.
Which is too bad because I happen to love my Wii U.
Yeah, Wii U is one of my favorite consoles right now to use.
Yeah, but the big thing was the gamepad and how many games really utilize the gamepad in a meaningful way. Zombie U.
Yeah, but
which is being ported to the other consoles now.
That's it.
As I said, I never thought of it that way. I was really more interested in the off TV play with the Wii U gamepad. That's what I used it the most for.
Yeah, and that's a good feature.
Other than that, it was just like a controller. I didn't feel like they needed to shoehorn the gamepad controls into games that didn't necessarily need it.
Like a horn in Mario Kart.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. I've played Mario Kart just on that, on the tablet. So
that's how I feel about the new Star Fox. You have to hold up the gamepad for your targeting reticule. You can turn it off, but that to me, that sounds like the worst thing.
You leave Star Fox alone.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I play it and see what I think of it.
Yeah,
I hope that game's good.
I think it will be. It looks nice.
People are divided on it. I've been seeing.
Yeah. Well, people feel strongly about their Nintendo.
That's true. That is a good point.
One way or the other, love or hate. So okay. Any other thoughts?
I don't think so, Dan.
Okay. All right, let's get into nibble bits, shall we? Corey, you want to get started with nibble bits?
Going right into Nibble Bits, eh?
Yeah.
Vainglory launched on Android today. It's mobile. MOBA.
Mobile MOBA.
A mobile MOBA. Will and I both played it. Correct, Will?
Correct.
You enjoyed it as much as I did, right?
Yeah, it was good. Definitely for the mobile. It was great.
Just to sum it up quickly, it's a real good-looking game. The matches are fast, under 20 minutes, I would say, for the most part. And MOBA-wise, it's just one lane and one jungle and 3-player teams. So I didn't know this, but they have 1.5 million active users just through iOS each month, which is considered a huge success.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so very successful iOS MOBA coming to Android. I do recommend it. I can't remember how much it cost.
Free.
It's free?
Maybe not. Maybe I lied.
I don't remember. But they're also adding some stuff with this Android launch today. There's a new hero, but I didn't bother to find out anything about it because I played that game for like 2 days, even though I really liked it.
Now, is this on tablets too?
Yeah, you can get it for an iPad. I don't know about Android tablets. I assume if it's for iPad, why wouldn't it be for Android tablets in addition to phones?
I have an Android tablet. I can check later.
So that's Vainglory. Dan, do you want me to talk about the Kotaku report about Warner Brothers knowing about the Arkham Knight PC port, or do you want to wait till we talk about that game?
No, go ahead. It's. I'm only going to briefly talk about it. I'm not going to get into it because we're going to talk about it next week. But so go right ahead.
Okay, so according to Kotaku sources, Warner Brothers was aware that Arkham Knight's PC port was a mess for months before launch. This was a Patrick Klepek piece, and they had two sources, and at least one of them was a quality assurance tester who said this. I will say that it's pretty rich for Warner Brothers to act like they had no idea the game was in such a horrible state. It's been like this for months, and all the problems we see now were the exact same, unchanged, almost a year ago. So this is coming from the horse's mouth, someone who tests bugs.
Yeah.
He or she also added, getting it to work on consoles was impossible for months. That's part of why the game got delayed so many times. They were totally unprepared for how hard it was on next-gen consoles. So apparently, at one point, they were told just to focus on console bugs, which meant that they had a team of about 100, and only 10 of them were focusing on the PC version.
Huh.
This person went on to say that we reported literally thousands of bugs that were specific to the PC version relating to the frame rate, which is what people are having a lot of problems with.
It was brutal.
All sorts of fucked up texture issues. The Batmobile in particular has always fucked things up on PC. So this person just saying, Warner Brothers has been aware of this problem for months. They put all their resources into the console version. PC version was kind of left out to dry, is the paraphrase version of it. But a couple things really jumped out at me in this story, and I recommend you read it because I can't really do it justice because there's a lot of information in there. One of the issues that they said was that Warner Brothers was in Rocksteady was very protective of the story in Batman Arkham Knight. And because of that, they couldn't outsource the PC stress tests that games often do, console ports to PC.
Right.
But as Patrick Klepek said in the article, that's not uncommon. Like a lot of story-heavy games do that. They don't outsource the stress tests.
They should have just hired more people.
Yeah, it could have been dealt with anyway. But it's also interesting. There's a lot of Steam communities popping up, obviously, that are trying to get this game working for people. And there's actually a person who will take your save file and hack you out of a glitched room if you're stuck in a room.
Oh, wow.
This person will hack your save file and get you out of there.
That's cool.
That is cool. And then another interesting part, according to Kotaku's source, they said that external studios tend to, in this case, Iron Galaxy, who did the PC port, the external studios, when they are bidding for the port, they overpromise and underbid because they want the job, because they use those to fund their projects that they want to work on.
Oh.
So,
that just seems like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of happens in every industry, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to win a bid for something.
Yeah.
But in this case, when it's not working, contractors will outbid each other, overpromise and underbid, and that's why construction projects take twice as long as sometimes they say, and cost twice as much. It doesn't always happen, but
Right.
But anyway, not that I'm giving them a pass. You can't release a game that doesn't work,
Yeah.
regardless of it being a PC port from a console game.
Yep.
Shadow of Mordor came out real well.
Yeah. Dying Light I think that was a Warner Brothers, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
No, it was Techland.
Techland was the
But-
developer.
You're right, Dan. Yeah,
Warner Brothers was the publisher.
yeah, they helped publish it.
Oh yeah, because Deep Silver and Techland
Yeah.
aren't-
Split ways.
Yeah, split ways.
But I think Dying Light was built for PC, right?
I don't know. Probably, maybe Maybe.
In this case, it was
the other way around.
Yeah, the other way around. Read this article. It's really good. We tweeted it, so you can go to twitter.com/TSathletes and find that tweet and find the article that way.
Yeah, there's really no excuse for that, especially like I read an article where someone compared this situation with Batman to how Rockstar did the PC port of Grand Theft Auto 5. He said if they had waited to release Arkham Knight on because it's a really good game, if they had waited to release Arkham Knight on a PC, done the port right, gave PC gamers the graphics options that they wanted, the frame rates that they wanted, people would have absolutely loved it. If they had spent time and made the PC version the best version, even if they had to delay it, people would have been happy with that,
Yeah.
rather than release it broken. And
In a perfect world, Dan.
yeah,
Dan, money.
well, and I don't like to give Rockstar credit if I don't have to, but
Exactly.
they do
guys.
deserve credit for that one.
Well, just to that point, Dan, Jeff Gersman on Giant Bomb brought up a good point in their most recent podcast about how so much money, as you said, Will, is tied up in marketing, and that a lot of that is driven by a release date. And if you miss your release date,
Money.
lots of problems can happen. So that's why I say, in a perfect world, it would be nice that everything came out and was on its own time and working.
Yeah.
But alas,
WB Interactive is the new Ubisoft is the new EA. There.
There it is.
you know what it is, man? It's business getting in the way of art.
It is a weird dichotomy, though, the art and business of video games.
Commercial art, same in movies, really.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Corey.
Moving along, Shark Tank's Mark Cuban, the sports guy, right? Isn't that his
Sports.
shtick? He's the sports guy.
No, he's a
He owns-
tech guy.
He owns the Mavericks too.
Yeah. He just
maybe that's
owns
what
the
it was.
Mavericks.
He made a huge investment, along with a number of investors, to esports platform Unicorn, it's actually spelled Unikrn. I had never heard of until I saw this article.
Tumblr.
In the form of $7 million. Their funding to that point was only $10 million, so that's quite the investment for them. They are based in Seattle. I had no idea what this platform did. But what they do is they allow you to bet on esports matches. The article, it was a VentureBeat article, cited League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Dota 2, all that good stuff. What jumped out at me in this article was this quote I'll read, and again, this is from VentureBeat. According to ESPN, 27 million people tuned in to watch the 2014 finals of the League of Legends World Championship. 27 million people.
That's insane.
That is more than watched the final game of the World Series, 23.5 million, or the NBA Finals, 18 million.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was beating out the final game of the World Series and the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Especially baseball, which I know it's not as popular, or it's kind of dying a little bit, but it's still America's pastime.
Yeah. More people are watching these nerds play Dota 2 than they are or I'm sorry, League of Legends than they are watching the World Series final.
If you, I watched a little bit of this, and like the production quality is so crazy, and they're treated like rock stars, like when they pan to them while they're playing.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I know, like South Korea and China, they're like their world athletes like look up to the pro gamers.
Sure.
That's insane.
They have the gamers come in to give like the World Cup soccer teams a pep talk and stuff like that.
Could you imagine?
No, that's weird.
If you play games like that here, you get picked on a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
By the athletes.
Yeah.
Mark Cuban had another interesting quote in this article about how he only invests in things that he thinks will advance their industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really telling that this is something that he believes in, and the numbers are there.
Betting
Yeah,
on sports.
sure. No, just the esports industry in general.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's huge, and I want to check out this unicorn. Is that how I'm gonna fix my life? Is by betting on esports?
Fix or ruin.
I like to know something I'm betting on. I would
Sure.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, I had some luck betting on hockey.
I'm not a betting man though, so that would never appeal to me.
I'm a betting man, but I know when to stop.
Yeah. I don't even bother. I just assume if I ever do gamble, I just assume it's money lost, and it's not very much.
That's the trick. You got to go in knowing the money you're willing to bet has to be money you're willing to lose.
Yeah.
It's never
Which is never very much.
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah, here and there.
Uh-huh.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Mojangs.
Mojang. Yeah.
Mohang.
Mojang. Isn't it Mojang?
Probably.
Didn't I hear that recently?
I don't know. Because they did the on the Xbox E3.
Mojang. I'm gonna go with Mojang. Mojang Scrolls will be shut down as early as July 2016. That's their collectible strategy game. I played it for like 5 minutes, but wasn't interested enough to keep going with it. Not enough to judge whether it was good or bad. But
Right.
It only launched in December, and they're already deciding it's not worth their while anymore. Microsoft now owns Mojang, and they probably only care about Minecraft. So
Yeah.
it's just if the number's in the red, what does Microsoft have any interest in trying to have a little passion project? It's just not.
Not just that, but Hearthstone is the CCG,
Yeah.
So, or digital CCG.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This was a lot more in depth than Hearthstone. A lot more going on.
Yeah.
But again, I lost interest really quickly. So
Right.
maybe it's not that great. I just feel bad that can you imagine if someone who plays Scrolls like I play Hearthstone to hear the news that it's getting shut down?
Yeah. That would be awful.
It's one of those moments where you're like Creed in The Office. He's like, if I can't scuba, then what has this all been for?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like taking the wind out of your sails for sure.
That poor guy.
Yeah, that one person that plays Scrolls.
He's just devastated today.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Okay. What do you got, Will?
I got the PS Plus games for July.
Nice.
The big one, which me and Eric are excited for, is Rocket League. That's going to be for the PS4. Eric's talked about that game. I don't know. It was like probably a month ago, I'd say, he talked about it. It's the roller. It's like that kart game with the soccer ball, and it's 3-on-3, and you try and knock it into the goal. And it's like basically like a soccer game with cool cars, and you can customize them and stuff like that. And you got jetpacks and stuff. It's pretty cool. Me and Eric were going to buy it because it was going to be like $20, but since it's free,
It's awesome.
yeah, I get to save some money. It helps me save or lighten the schedule for what I have to buy.
Yeah.
And then there's Styx Master of Shadows for the PS4. I know very little about this game.
Don't know.
Yeah, I've never even really heard of it.
I've heard of it.
But it'll probably be pretty cool. And then there's Mousecraft, which is for the PS4, PS3, PS Vita. Entwined for all of them again, and then there's Rain for the PS3, and then Geometry Wars 3 for the Vita.
Nice.
Solid lineup.
Yeah.
What's Rain? I don't remember. I feel like I'm thinking of Risk of Rain.
Rain is the game where you're like a ghost
Okay.
and you can be seen when you're walking around in like in the rain, because you're invisible because you're a ghost, but you can see like the outline of I think it's like a child, maybe the ghost.
Yeah, okay. I know what game you're talking about now. It's like got that little dark art to it.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
I got you now. Is it on Steam?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Maybe not. I don't know then. I don't know. Because there's a game that has rain in the title that always shows up on my recommendations.
Risk of Rain, maybe?
It's not Risk of Rain.
Oh, okay.
I don't think.
That game's pretty good though.
What, Risk of Rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Get
Go
Risk
ahead.
of Rain.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Dark Pit is going to be a Best Buy exclusive amiibo. Today, Best Buy put up a banner with a picture of the amiibo saying only at Best Buy, and no other information has come out. Nintendo hasn't confirmed it, so nobody really knows what's going on with it other than it's going to be a Best Buy exclusive. They probably leaked it a little bit early.
Yeah.
If you're into the amiibos, Dark Pit's a character I like to play as, so I'm interested. I call him Emo Pit.
Nice.
That game's real good, Smash. And the last one is the Miiverse is adding a photo album thing. You can save Miiverse posts and comment on them and stuff like that. And I'm a fan of the Miiverse with the new Smash stage.
Yeah.
It's pretty entertaining stuff to see what people can get through. So this is a great feature, in my opinion.
So you can save the good ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
That's all I had.
Okay, cool. If you pre-ordered the Pip-Boy edition for Fallout 4 and you have a large phone like the iPhone 6 Plus or the Galaxy Note 4, it will not fit your device. Apparently, it's only for like regular size phones. There's a bunch of inserts that come in with it, so you can put in like some of the more popular ones, like some of the older iPhones, and then the Galaxy S5 and Galaxy S4 and a few different phones. But oversized phones, or phablets as they're called, will not fit inside.
Good.
Galaxy Note 4 is the one that I was gonna get. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna keep my pre-order for the Pip-Boy. I might sell it.
Somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I'm sure Bethesda paid a lot of money to have their press conference, but they probably easily made that up in what they've made off Fallout Shelter.
Oh yeah, Fallout Shelter's huge. Still
Easily made it up, and that's really smart. That's why like that press conference blew me away.
Yeah.
Not even, like I said, not even the content of the games that they were showing, just how the press conference was crafted. It was brilliant.
Yes, it was. It was way better than the rest of them, in my opinion.
And they're not doing one next year.
They can't really.
No. What are they?
I'm sure they'll have a few games they could show, but there's
They
should have just called that the Fallout 4 conference. They had some cool other stuff to show, but that's really why people watched it.
Yep, and boy, was it amazing.
Yeah, they did not disappoint. And then my next and last little bit, I didn't realize I only did 2. That kind of sucks, but what can you do at this point? EA is accepting applications for Star Wars Battlefront closed alpha on PC. I signed up for it and did not get in, so apparently it lets you know right away.
Oh, really?
If you get in or not. The link is on our Twitter feed, so if you want to check it out and see if you got into the closed alpha for PC, do that. And
That's kind of cool that they let you know immediately.
Yeah.
Instead of you not knowing for months and then having it pass by.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'd rather forget than be told no.
It was kind of crushing. You go in and they're like, you do not have access to Fallout, Star Wars Battlefront closed alpha on PC. We're sorry, or something like that. It was kind of crushing.
Yeah, no is so final. It's just like, well, it's
not hearing about it. Yeah.
Maybe that's why when you apply for a job, they don't get back to you.
Yeah.
So you can tell your friends and family, well, they didn't tell me no.
Yeah.
That's even more depressing to me.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Not just that, but they didn't have the time or care to be like, nah, you're not good enough for even a no,
Well,
but anyway,
That's true.
how was your week, Corey?
was good. I have a number of things I want to talk about, and I wish Eric was here for a couple of them. But I went to a meat fest this weekend. It was a friend of a friend. And it's funny because I was sitting at work on Friday, and my coworkers were asking me what I was doing this weekend, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to a meat fest." And I didn't really think anything of it, but meat fest implies some sort of male on male something or other. And they all started laughing, and I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh, you might want to drive by and make sure you know. Drive by before you go to make sure you know what you're actually going to."
Right.
And then I put two and two together. But that's not. It wasn't a guy on guy thing. It was a festival of meat. Invited from a friend through a friend of a friend's party. But it was really cool. It was pouring rain that day. Fortunately, they had a tent. It was all outside. They had a bunch of coolers of good beer, like good craft beer. I drank a bunch of beers I've never had before, and it was awesome. But I tried some new meats that I've never had before. I had boar meatballs.
Really?
They were good. I think I still prefer like a beef or a turkey meatball, but the boar, it was interesting. It was different. And the biggest thing though is you kind of wonder who's preparing this stuff and if they're preparing it the best of the meat's qualities. Who knows? Right. Also tried ostrich, which was one of my favorite. It was really good.
How was that done?
The ostrich I had pheasant, and that was just like strips. How was the ostrich done? I can't remember. I think it was just like little. It looked kind of like chicken, but it was just little pieces of it.
Right.
And then I've tried the weirdest thing I tried was python. And it was bacon was wrapped around it, and the meat had absolutely no flavor. It was kind of rubbery. It wasn't great.
Yeah. I don't care much for snakes.
You just pop the whole thing in your mouth because it's got bacon around it, and the bacon chews up right away and tastes delicious, and then you're left with like a piece of silly dough in your mouth. Yeah. Or what's those? Remember those little things that came in the little egg, and it's just like real, I don't know.
Silly putty?
Silly putty. It is gross.
Adam Carolla always says if you have to wrap bacon around something, and you probably shouldn't be eating it anyway. If you have to wrap bacon around something to make it taste good, you probably shouldn't be eating it anyway.
He's right.
The host of the party, he was this English gentleman, really nice guy, but he asked me what I thought of it, and I was like, well, I wouldn't eat it again unless I was like stranded in the outback, and then I'd be like, yeah, python's all right to eat.
Right.
But it was fun. It was fun to try. Oh, I also tried peanut butter bacon brownies.
That sounds delightful.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
But the people I was with were like, "Oh man, you guys, you wanna leave?" And I was like, "I don't want to leave. I just want to drink the beer and eat the meat and just sit here. I'm fine." It was a good party. But then I watched some stuff on Netflix I wanted to share with you guys. One particularly for Dan, you, and Eric, called "God Bless America." It's a Bobcat Goldthwait movie. It's about this guy who actually lives in Syracuse, and he's a divorcee.
Bobcat Goldthwait is from Syracuse.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, which is weird.
It's a little love letter to home, I guess. I don't know if it was actually shot there. There's a couple scenes of the highways, a couple shots of the highways around in and around Syracuse, like signs for Binghamton and stuff like that. So they at least did those, but I don't know if the actual sets were in Syracuse. It's about this guy who's just real jaded and just hates a lot of stuff. And there's a few good scenes of him, like with he's unable to sleep at night, and he's just like channel surfing, and it's just reality TV show after reality TV show, but just like
a nightmare,
reducing them to their most annoying bits. He ends up, kind of a spoiler, he ends up losing his job, but goes on a killing spree and kills reality TV stars and like just people everyone hates, like always like that guy. But it's really good. It came out in 2011, and I guess that was before all these shooting sprees that we've been having, because I don't think that movie would see the light of day now. Yeah. Just based on some of the scenes that happen, it's a little bit jarring, but I was laughing my ass off. My girlfriend couldn't watch it. She said it was stressing her out too much.
This movie sounds hilarious.
It's pretty good. It's only got 3 stars on Netflix, but I don't know. I think it's worth more than that. It's really good.
What was it called again?
God Bless America.
Bless America. Okay.
it's one for those of us that are very easily annoyed by people today. There's a couple other good. There's a girl that kind of is his partner in crime, is Bonnie to his Clyde, and they just sit and list off things that they hate.
It kind of sounds like an upstate New York mentality, though.
Yeah, good point.
That's kind of how we all are.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yep. He's like
Jaded and hates everything.
One of his was anybody who's ever been stoked.
That's funny.
So that was good. I recommend it as long as you're not easily offended. Another one I watched is anime called Berserk, and I put it on a whim. I've been taking naps when I get home from work, which I don't like to do because then I'm not tired at night. So then I'm up most of the night.
Yeah.
But I watched this anime called Berserk, and it's called the Golden Age arc, and there's 3 movies. The first one's on Netflix, and it had a 5-star rating, and I was like, I should probably watch this. It was really good. It's about this dude who's a mercenary, and he ends up getting tied up with this other mercenary who claims that one day he will rule a kingdom. But it's really beautiful, really well shot. There's a lot of cool, violent anime scenes.
Yeah.
For those of you looking for, and it's not as weird, Will, as some of the other anime that you think I love.
Sword Art Online.
That's really good anime. I like that a lot.
I just can't get anime, so I just give you crap for it.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. But Dan, I think you might like this one a lot.
I like anime. I just I don't watch new things really. Like
Yeah,
when
apparently
I put on Futurama and
yeah.
that's what I do.
That's, I mean, me with The Office. That's my
Right.
falling
Yep.
asleep thing. But it was an older series. Maybe in the 90s, there was like an anime TV series, and it's based on a manga. But it is really good. I've watched the first 2. I haven't seen the third yet. I really enjoyed it. It's the one main character's name's Guts, and he just wields this really huge kind of like cloud buster sword. But there's not a lot of like fantasy and magic and all that stuff. It's just very medieval. It's more European than it is Japanese.
Huh.
So there's armies lining up and cavalry charging, and this guy Guts with his buster sword just like swings his sword and severs people at their torso and head, and I don't know. It's raw and violent, but I had a really good time with it, so I do recommend it.
Berserk.
Berserk, yeah, the Golden Age arc. The first one's on Netflix. It's relatively short. I think it's like an hour and a half.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all I want to talk about, I think.
Okay. What do you got, Will?
I was just gonna bring up the NHL draft, and then the NHL free agency started today.
Yeah.
First round of the draft. I don't know. Did anybody pay attention to it?
No.
No. Cord, did you?
A little bit.
Little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric's not here to talk about it, but Buffalo did some real big moves.
Yes, they did.
Getting Ryan O'Reilly, Robin Lehner, David Legwand.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo next year is going to be competing for a playoff spot.
I could see that.
Got a lot better. Eichel is definitely coming to Buffalo next year.
Yeah, I saw he definitely turned pro and signed with them, so that's good.
And I hope that Robin Lehner does really well for them. Because
Yeah.
I'm a big Robin Lehner fan, and I feel like he never got a shot in Ottawa.
No, former BSN.
Yep. My favorite story ever is seeing Corey with the Swedish flag and him getting real pumped
Yeah.
as an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was just a kid when that happened. That was years ago. Yeah, he's only 23 now, so yeah, he was probably 18.
It's weird to
Away
think
from
about
home.
that he's only 23 because I feel like I've been watching him for so long.
Yeah.
It's just weird to see that. Boston got fleeced with Dougie Hamilton.
I saw that.
I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him too because after he gets traded, the Boston media is saying that he was an uppity kid who was a loner.
Well, they gotta paint him as the enemy.
They did it to Sagan. They did it to Kessel.
Yeah.
That's their rookie GM's fault. Pete Chiarelli wouldn't have let him walk.
Somebody said that Boston was getting back at Chiarelli by making teams in his division better. Because Calgary, I mean, got a great defenseman out of it.
Yeah.
Not giving up too much.
They traded Lucic. Boston traded Lucic.
Oh yeah, they traded Lucic too, which somebody at work was very upset about that because he's a big Bruins fan and Lucic was his favorite player.
Yeah. I don't like this person. I don't even know who it is.
Talk about it off air, but yeah, he's a King now. I'm trying to think of what else. Kessel getting traded today was big, and Brandon Saad, which blew my mind when I woke up. I took a nap today, and when I checked the NHL trades and saw Brandon Saad got traded, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's nutty.
I can't believe that he got traded. I want Ryan in Iowa's opinion on that, how he feels about it.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Saad's going to be a great player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the few I thought they'd keep.
Yeah, right?
For sure.
One of the players they got was a player that they put on waivers and Columbus claimed. And Jeremy Morin. I don't know. I'd like to hear somebody who's a Blackhawk fan.
Mm-hmm.
But they got a really good player, Marco Dano. So,
well, 3 cups in 4 years.
I think it's
6 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't really care what my team did.
You're right.
Yeah.
This reminds me, Corey. How do you feel about Hagelin and Talbot? I meant to ask you.
It sucks to lose Hagelin.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I don't think the Rangers could really afford to pay him though. I think he'll be awesome for Anaheim.
Yeah.
Who was the other one you asked?
Talbot.
Oh, Talbot. I think that was I knew that would happen, last year.
Yeah.
And they got a decent backup in return and about half the salary. So they had to cut some people, and I think they did it in the right places. I really wish they could have kept Hagelin though.
Me too. I'm hoping Edom is all right.
Yeah.
But
you just hate to lose that speed.
Exactly.
I think Edom's pretty quick though, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's young. He's younger than Hagelin.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who said Buffalo was a dump or whatever. But I'm happy for Talbot too.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. Like if I'm a free agent, I'm kind of looking at Edmonton.
Oh God, yeah.
Even though they've been so bad for so long, but now that they got the McJesus.
McJesus. Well, because I saw Andre Sekera signed there today.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be. He's one of those defensemen who got no credit because he played on Carolina.
But he was decent for them, right?
Oh yeah, he was. People said he was one of the most underrated defensemen in the NHL.
Yeah.
It's probably Predators defenseman that's the most underrated in the NHL.
Roman Josi.
Roman Josi, yeah.
I agree. Roman Josi is great.
Their whole blue line's great.
Nashville's one of those teams that are just so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
But
I get stressed out. I don't know about fun.
To be fair, watching the playoffs this year was probably the most stressed in life I've ever been.
Yeah.
I
had to drink the last few games.
See, I wasn't stressed at all this go around.
I just want to see the Rangers win a cup in my lifetime so badly.
Yeah.
I've seen the Super Bowl. I've seen the World Series. The sport that I care about the most, I want to see a championship in.
Yeah, were you weren't born yet when the Rangers won their first cup, were you?
I was born in '95, the year after.
Okay. Not their first cup, but the last cup that they won.
I think it's their fourth.
Yeah, something like that, third or fourth.
Which is crazy because they've been around for ever.
Will was just a symptom of the Rangers Cup win.
God, Corey, come on.
Too far.
But other than the hockey stuff, I'm going to Florida next week, so I won't be on. Going to Warped Tour down there. Probably going to die.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little worried because going through the Florida air is impossible. It's like you're swimming through it because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
Especially during the summer. So it's going to be interesting. I am a little sad, though, Corey, because I'm leaving the 4th of July.
Yeah. You'll get over it.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I'm going to be traveling until midnight.
Where are you flying out of?
Syracuse.
How you getting there?
I'm going to Wegmans. One of my friends there gets out at 3:30, and then he's driving me and my friend there.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just realized I was playing the Golden Age arc in Netflix, and there's an inappropriate scene that came up on the live stream. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But how long are you down there for?
I'm coming back the 10th. I'll be back at like 11:30 at night, and then I have work the next day.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's good though. Like I said, I think it's best to just get right back into it and not have time to think about the fun that you had and having to go back to work.
Am I gonna be
Sulk.
depressed?
Yeah.
I used to have real problems with depression coming back from a vacation. I can remember one time when I think I was still in high school, or maybe I was in college. But I was working over the summer, and I went on like a week-long vacation and came back and was just miserable for like a week. Didn't want anybody to talk to me. Didn't want anybody to look at me.
Yeah. I hear you.
I'm scared now.
Yeah. Well, that's just me. I'm weird.
Yeah. Well, we're as a family strange.
Yeah.
Very strange.
We've talked about this a lot, but other than that, that's all I got.
All right. I got a couple things. I got Splatoon this week, so I forgot to tease that at the beginning of the episode. I'll talk about that during what we played.
Yeah.
I moved my computer back upstairs. This time of the year, it's hot down here. So sitting down here alone, kind of in the dark, to play video games doesn't appeal to me. So I moved the computer back upstairs to not isolate myself, at night from the rest of the household. So, so there's that. I feel like I have a cell phone again.
You do.
Shut up.
I do. My wife really needed a new phone, so we went in to AT&T, got my Google Voice number ported to AT&T. So I still have the same number for.
How'd you do that?
It's easy. You pay a $3 fee to unlock your Google Voice number, and then you can port it to
Google or to AT&T.
I ported my Google number to.
No,
AT&T.
I know, but do you pay that $3 to Google to get that number?
Yeah. Yep. It's been my phone number, I guess, for lack of a better word, for a few years now. I didn't want to start all over again, so I just had it ported. So we went in and my wife, like I said, needed a new phone. She uses her phone a lot, and I'm only using it as a phone. I have a tablet to do all the other stuff, so I took her old phone, and she got the new phone. She got the Galaxy S6, which is really nice.
Oh, yeah.
But I went in adamant against the next plan.
Oh, they probably tried to shove that down your throat.
Well, what happened was we ended up getting a free tablet if we signed up for the next plan. So we were like, well, I guess that's what we're gonna have. So we got a Samsung Galaxy Tab 4, I think.
Oh, that's what I have.
Tablet for free, which is nice. So
Did you crunch the numbers?
yeah, they punish you now for not going on the next plan, so it comes out to about the same. You're probably better off buying your phone straight out, like the full. I think the Galaxy S6 is like $550. You're better off buying that and then going on like T-Mobile or something like that, and that's how you're going to save the most money. Because with the next plan, all they do is you pay the full like $800 for the phone they just split it up into your monthly bill. So like when you get a phone at the subsidized price, it's only like $200 for the 2-year contract price. But they put in all these little extra fees, and your monthly charges are a little bit more, so it ends up being about the same, which really sucks.
Phone companies might be the most disgusting companies in
phone companies and
Cable.
I was gonna say
Time
internet
Warner.
cable companies.
It's the worst.
They've got us by the cojones.
Yeah, I mean, I got out for a while, but my son's going to preschool starting in September, so I needed to have something that I could, if I run out of gas or the car breaks down, or it shouldn't break down, it's brand new, but if I need something, I would have no way to contact anybody. So,
well, hopefully the Nintendo NX's cell coverage is pretty good when that comes out.
It's just
yeah. That'd be fine with me. I'd rather have that. So yeah, my wife's phone was a Moto G, and it's fine I just use it for a phone. So texting and calls, if I ever make a call, which is never. I am gonna eventually get the Galaxy Note 4. Who knows when? I probably won't do the next plan. I'll probably just buy it outright, for $550 and save the whatever a lot.
lots of money.
Yeah. So there's that. I think that's all I had going on this week. Yeah. Should we take a quick break?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, we'll take a quick break and be back with what we played in just a moment.
Panthers got Riley Smith from Boston.
You saw the Rangers got Victor Stahlberg, right? Well,
I did see that. Did you see Sather step down or whatever?
yeah. He's still the president or something, but not the GM anymore.
President of Hockey Operations.
Yeah. Basically,
Why? What's Boston doing? Why are they just purging their roster?
I don't know, Dan. They go for Jimmy Hayes.
well, from what I understand, Boston was kind of in a cap space predicament.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but did they have to trade everybody that's good on that team besides Bergeron and Krejci?
It's one of those things. I mean, I would have traded Bergeron, to be honest with you.
Torrey Krug.
Yeah, Krug.
I would have kept Krejci, but I think I would have traded Bergeron.
I mean, Charo's not going to be as good anymore.
Exactly.
He's slow.
Got to get rid of him. Kept Dougie Hamilton. I don't know. It's probably one of those things that you trade him now or get rid of him now while, if there is a return on investment, good.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I guess their
Stupid.
draft picks were lackluster, too.
It's that new GM. It's that rookie GM. What's his name?
Ron Sweeney.
Has he ever?
I think he's been a GM other places, hasn't he?
I don't know.
The name sounds familiar.
He might have been assistant in Boston for a long time.
Well, I gotta take a pee.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I'm really excited for hockey.
Yeah, I'm excited for hockey. I'm not excited for the fall. I hate fall and winter.
I love the fall. It's so peaceful. Although I am going back to school, so that's gonna suck. Is it sad that I sat down and thought about not going back to school because of Fallout 4 and stuff like that? Is that an issue?
Nah, whatever. Ooh. I just got 82 cents for my Google Opinion rewards.
Oh, I forgot to do that yesterday. It's every day, right?
They'll just pop up whenever they have a survey that's relevant to you.
They asked me one. It was kind of weird.
I've probably earned like $15 in Google Play credit just by answering stupid questions occasionally.
They were asking me how I felt about the United Nations.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. I had a very, very political one too.
What's your stance on ISIS?
No, it wasn't. Oh, did they ask you that?
No, it's like stuff like that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I was thinking they'd be asking me like entertainment questions.
Yeah. This one that I just answered apparently tailors ads towards you too.
Oh, okay.
So, whatever. I don't like it, but what are you going to do?
Maybe the ISIS questions, how they stake out ISIS members in North America.
Yeah, because if you wrote in like, "Oh yeah, I love ISIS," they're doing great work.
And somebody did it as a joke.
Yeah, and now they're on the terrorist list. There's way too much noise upstairs.
Children.
Yeah.
I gotta use the bathroom. Is it dark enough?
No. Just go behind the garage.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, I'll be by myself in here.
Corey should be back.
Yeah.
Big and Nancy.
I'll say. What? Weird noise.
I only went half because your neighbor's dog was running around out there.
Oh.
I was like, oh, somebody's playing out here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they just let him? Do they just let Bailey out? Every
Yeah,
now and
he's
again?
got invisible fence
Yeah.
that sometimes he walks through.
Just don't want to get arrested. Public urination.
That's not public.
That's true.
You're
You're
in my
private
backyard.
property.
Yeah. I just read there's a GameCube emulator that runs on the NVIDIA Shield TV, which is their console,
Yeah. Really? Does it run well?
I guess.
Because I know there's an issue.
Playable.
There was an issue with 360, PS3, and GameCube emulation.
What's that?
The emulation for like the GameCube, Wii, PS3, and Xbox 360 are like really hard.
Yeah, they're working on it now.
It's crazy to think that there's going to be a time that we can play PS3 and 360 and whatnot, like emulation, like
Yeah, I know, it is weird.
like people can do SNES and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we do that.
No. We have legally backed up copies of our games.
Exactly.
Corey, when are you going to get a new graphics card? Oh, you're waiting, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure NVIDIA does their cards like late summer, like September. So I'll keep you posted if I hear anything.
I might even wait till the Oculus releases to buy my new video card.
Well, I mean, prices, when they come out with their new cards, the prices will remain relatively stable until they announce when the next round of cards are coming out.
Yeah.
They'll release one or two after that. Like the 980 Ti just came out not that long ago after the 980, but it's also
$600.
It's 650. So,
That's crazy.
but it runs a lot of 4K games at 60 frames. Even some newer ones.
Well, I don't have a monitor that matters for.
Yeah. Woot has been having 4K TVs for like $500.
I know, it's crazy.
Probably if I was still working, I'd have one. Because Tim has one. Vizio 4K TV.
If I was still in New York, I'd probably have one by now.
Yeah.
But since I can't even buy myself socks,
Yeah. Probably not that high on your priority list.
nope. I gotta move.
Somewhere where there's work.
No, just somewhere where rent's like half what I'm paying now.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a really nice apartment, but I can't imagine it's cheap.
No, we pay $375 each.
That's not bad.
I mean, no,
For-
but it's cheaper
Right.
than what we were paying in New York. But I mean, this place is nice, but we would be just as happy in
In
a
a smaller-
studio, you know?
Smaller, cheaper place. Yeah. Yeah, because your apartment's big. I think your apartment is bigger than my house. I mean, we have two.
Yeah,
two
you got a whole other floor. But I mean, you could find a studio for like $450,
yeah.
you know,
Yep.
and we'd be paying. Sophie and I would each be paying $225.
Never find rent as cheap as when we lived above Coldwell Banker.
Oh my God, it was
$250 a month, utilities included.
that was awesome.
That was awesome. I had so much expendable income at
Yeah.
that point in my life.
Those apartments were great.
Oh man.
And then you go to Brooklyn, where rent was, how much were we paying? $2,700.
Oh
My God.
It's
for a
like
house.
$650 each
Yeah.
for 5 people, something like that. I can't remember.
Oh.
However that math works out.
All right, shall we?
Yeah.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 206 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are now in what we played. I'll get started. I played more Batman Arkham Knight, which I'm not going to talk about, but I did beat it.
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, Dano.
Thank you.
Good work.
It was an awesome game. I wanted to finish it up before Eric on his way home stopped to pick up his PS4, so I wanted to make sure I got it done. I was up until 5 o'clock in the morning last night playing, and woke up at like 7:30 by the children. So
You're tired.
You're
I took
sick.
a little bit of a nap.
Yeah, you are sick.
And caffeinated, which I'm almost out of coffee.
You're sick.
Now I'm out of
Sick,
coffee.
man.
Had to beat it though, and I did.
Congrats.
Awesome game. Definitely, it's an easy recommend. I'm not gonna talk about it because we're gonna do an episode on it next week. So,
What about for me? Recommend it for me?
me and Eric talked about that briefly when he came to pick it up. I don't know if
Corey
you would like it. You know what? Have you played Arkham City?
No, I played just the first one.
Asylum.
Yeah.
Okay. If you play Arkham City, it's similar to that, but with like Batmobile stuff too, which some people hated, but I absolutely love the Batmobile stuff. The Batmobile is really well done. So
Yeah. Just action adventure games, unless the story's real good.
it is real good, though. And I don't even care that much for Batman and his storyline, but it is pretty good. I was pretty impressed with it. So
We'll see. What was the playtime?
I have no idea. A lot. I played a lot. I bet you it was 35 hours, maybe,
Wow.
over the course of
Wow.
5 months. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah. I played a lot.
Doing a lot of extra stuff. Well, we don't need it. I don't want to talk about it too much.
Go ahead. That's quick question. Go
I was
ahead.
just going to ask if you did a lot of the extra stuff. Is that what inflated
I
the
did-
playtime?
I did. Yeah. Oh yeah. I did most of the side stuff. The only thing I didn't do was all the Riddler challenges because there's like 200 of them. Which you do incidentally need to unlock the best ending. You need to 100% the game, which I did not do. But whatever. I didn't have time. I probably would have because I like the game that much. So there's that.
But Dan, by playing it, you supported their PC port.
I didn't because I didn't buy it.
Yeah, you're right.
I borrowed it. I borrowed the console version,
You're
which is a
right.
good version.
Never mind, you're right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. It's beautiful.
What?
The game. Arkham
Yeah.
Knight.
It's nice looking, definitely. So then I played that. More Super Mario 3D World. My wife and I will probably be streaming World 4 tomorrow. We're gonna hopefully finish up Super Mario because she had last week. We didn't get to do it because she had 2 15-page papers she had to write and final projects for her first summer semester. So she's pretty much all done for now. So we're gonna play probably the next couple nights Super Mario 3D World.
I saw you guys playing.
Did you?
Dan, where can people go to watch you and your lovely wife playing video games together?
Twitch.tv/Thumbstick Athletes, just our Twitch channel. It always if you follow us on Twitter too, it always tweets out when we go live, which is twitter.com/TS Athletes. So you can do that. And then after we finish Mario, I think we're gonna do Skylanders. So we didn't finish Skylanders Trap Team. We gotta finish that before the new Skylanders comes out in September. So there's that. What else? Oh, Splatoon. We got Splatoon this week. Splatoon is an awesome game. One of the things I didn't realize about it that I realize now that I play it, I thought the items and like aside from the weapons, but I thought the clothes and the shoes and the headgear that you bought was just cosmetic, but it's not. It actually all has stats that you unlock, which adds another layer of depth to the game, and you can kind of go for a build, which is cool to help out your little squid person, or I don't know exactly what they're called.
What's the DPS build, Dan?
I'm rolling a roller build. I try to. One of my stat boost is like that my paint canister doesn't empty as quickly.
Oh.
And then when I dip in the paint to refill it, it refills faster. So
That sounds overpowered.
yeah, I've done pretty well. The problem is I'm not good with console shooters.
No, they're hard.
I've lost the capacity to do that very well because of, once I got used to keyboard and mouse, I'm just terrible. I'm garbage at console control. So with
Same
this
issue.
one, I mainly focus on painting the ground. And then if I run into someone with the paint roller, that's like a one shot kill. It's like a shotgun. And then you can also like fling paint at them for short distances with the paint roller. So that's how I roll right now. I probably will try some of the other weapons because they're pretty cool. But I'm mostly just sticking with the roller for now.
So 3 of the 4 of us have this, so we could do a team, right?
Yeah, I think so. I
Cool.
think that's how it works.
Corey.
You have it, Will?
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't played it yet. I've had it for like 2 weeks, too.
I might play it when I get to the homestead.
It sounds like, that's kind of a fun idea for a game, but it's super addicting. Like I'll play it for an hour. I'll play a match or two, whatever, and I end up playing for a lot longer than I thought I was going to. Just sucks you in. I don't know what it is.
Is there a paint thinner weapon? Like something that like removes paint?
No, that would be a good idea. But they keep adding stuff. That's something they could add at some point. It'd be your job just to go in and remove the other team's paint.
Yeah, if you just had a bucket of mineral spirits that you're running around with.
That would be cool. It's actually not paint. It's technically ink, but I just call it paint. Yeah, it's a really fun game. And there's all sorts of like secondary weapons like grenades and like little like sticky mines, and it's a sweet game. It really is. Nintendo did a nice job with it.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah.
So
It's really, really good. And then the only other thing I played was a little more Paper Mario Sticker Star, which I'm still enjoying. I think I'm in World 3 right now. I play that, just occasionally when I get the opportunity. So still a fun game.
that sounds
Not
fun
much
right
more
now.
Paper Mario.
Yeah, it sounds like what I'm in the mood for.
Yeah. Will has it. You can borrow it from him.
Or like a Little Big Planet or something.
Yeah.
I have that, too, Corey. You can play.
Nice.
You're going to have free range.
Nice.
It's going to be stormy on the 4th of July, too. We should just play Mario Kart.
Well, I'm planning on tying one on the 4th of July for sure.
Well, that makes Mario Kart even more fun than Smash Brothers.
It's been a long time coming. The lady friend will not be accompanying me, so
Oh,
I don't have any no strings attached.
nice.
And it's in a different area code, so
Yeah. So drinking and eating.
yep.
4th of July is my favorite holiday, so I always enjoy it. But that's all I played. So, Will, what do you got?
And the only thing I have is Heroes of the Storm, and
Will.
Eric's not really here to talk about it. The Butcher came out, and the new Diablo map came out. Those are real good. That's about it, Dan.
Okay.
I don't really want to talk about it alone.
That's fine. I understand. No problem.
Played Smash, a lot of Smash.
Smash is still awesome.
Oh my god. I'm taking my GameCube controllers with me down to Florida, so...
Nice. Don't forget them.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not going to get them back.
Yeah.
I'm going to forget something. My tablet. I'm bringing my tablet so I can play Hearthstone.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot to mention. This seems totally unrelated, but Will know why it's related. I officially started my Japanese language learning training
Uh-huh.
with Rosetta Stone level 1.
And
Yeah, how's it going?
it's not an easy language.
Especially for Americans.
Yeah.
It is one of the top 5 hardest languages for Americans to learn.
Oh, really? What are the other ones?
Yeah, now I can't remember any of them.
Huh.
The easy ones are the obvious ones, like Spanish, French. What was the other? A couple other ones. Italian.
German?
No, German's kind of hard because it's like guttural, you know?
Yeah.
And what the biggest problem is, first of all, the script, because there's 3 different scripts in Japanese, and then there's Romaji, which is the English alphabet spelling Japanese words, which makes it a little bit easier. But Spanish comes easy to Americans because a lot of the way you enunciate and your intonation and stuff like that matches up very well with Spanish. But in Japanese, it's so hard because you're constantly like emphasizing vowels that you're not used to, and it's
English and Spanish and French are like Latin based languages, so
yeah,
they're not that dissimilar.
Right. But yeah. Anyway, Will, the reason why I brought that up is you're going to visit your friend in Florida whose brother is probably moving to Japan eventually.
He got accepted to Temple University over there.
And promised me I could come visit, so I'm just getting ready for that.
That's awesome.
He'd love to have people.
Yeah. I know a few words now.
Well, let's hear them.
Otokonoko is boy.
So boy is like a whole sentence.
Onanoko is girl. Onanokotachi wa is girls.
You should apply for a job at Nintendo.
Well, it does kind of play into the whole video game thing. Maybe I could get a job like localizing video games. I do have the like writing background, you know.
Yeah,
that'd be a cool job.
Maybe it's in my cards.
Corey's gonna be localizing Mother 3.
That would be awesome.
Corey spearheads it.
But no, it's very difficult. It's gonna take me forever. But
yeah,
whatever. It's fun. I had a good time. I'm trying to do an hour every day. I didn't get a chance to today, but
nice.
It's one of those things. Everybody kind of agrees. Like, there's no easy way to learn Japanese. It's just
you gotta immerse yourself in it.
Keep plugging away. Well, even that, like, I was reading some anecdotally, like, people were saying that they were too busy just like listening to other people that they weren't even working on their own. I don't know. It's like it's not as easy as just going to Japan and immersing yourself in it.
Yeah.
And they said, like, don't watch, if you're into anime, don't just watch anime to learn Japanese, because you'll very quickly start to hate anime.
Right.
But whatever.
Huh. That's cool.
That is pretty cool.
That's a long aside.
I want weekly progress updates.
Sure, I'll come on and speak a little Japanese to you guys.
Get Miyamoto on here. You guys can have a conversation.
There are words that are really easy, though. Like juice is jusu.
Jusu.
That's easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But with the Rosetta Stone, you have to pronounce things before you can progress. It's so hard.
So you could be stuck on something if you enunciate it a little wrong?
Yeah, you have to get... And it's not only the emphasis, but like how loud you... I don't know. It's so weird. It's just, we don't have anything like it in English.
Right.
I don't think I could do this.
I couldn't. There's no way.
And there's like the polite form of nouns, which is really important in Japanese, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Because they have that in Spanish, but it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But in Japan, I guess it does. I don't know.
I can see that.
This reminds me, Corey, did you know our former Spanish teacher won Educator of the Year?
For what?
Being an educator.
Like,
oh, whose award?
Yeah, whose award was it? The state?
Yeah, I don't know. They give it to like 5 teachers, and our Spanish teacher was one of them that got it.
Good for her.
Yeah, right?
She's a good educator.
She is, and it reminded me of how terrible I acted in her class and how guilty I felt.
Yeah. I want to write her a letter and say, I've grown so much, and I apologize. Apologize for my behavior.
Anyway, I just had to...
I think that's the general consensus for people, though. I think most people are apologetic for their behavior when they were high schoolers.
This is how it was, though. Like, I got good grades in her class. I just screwed around a lot and didn't take it seriously.
Well, that's how I was with everything.
So, and she was cool with it because if I did bad, I took responsibility because I was being an idiot.
Yeah. I had one teacher, one of my science teachers pull me aside and say, he tried to guilt trip me into working at school. He's like, you're smarter than,
everybody.
Well, no, not everybody, but he's like, you're smarter than your grades say. You should put some effort into it. You could be a really good student. I was like, oh, okay, and I just never did.
In the back of your head, you were thinking, nah, I'm going to be a podcaster someday.
No, I don't think podcaster ever
crossed your mind.
I dreamed to be a podcaster when I grow up. No.
Here we are.
Yeah. But anyway, that's an aside. Corey, what'd you play?
I played a number of things, one of them being Invisible Ink, which I beat.
Hey, well
Hey,
done.
good job, Corey.
Yep.
I'll put the games on the list right now, actually.
Did you put my ones from last week too?
I believe so. Let's check. Go ahead.
I was inspired by your brief mention of it last week, Dan. I had played it quite a bit before. I didn't realize how close I was to beating it. I did 2 more missions when I booted up my last save, and then I had beaten it. I had to restart one level. I got kind of stuck and died, and I had to restart it. My team, Dan, I don't know which of these people you had, but I had Banks, International, Nika, and Decker.
I had Decker and
International.
they're the ones you start with. I don't. Was the other?
I think it's random. I think you acquire different agents as you progress.
I was gonna say, those names don't sound familiar.
Yeah.
To me.
But it got to the point. I had Decker. I had an augmentation on Decker that every time he knocked somebody out, he'd get 6 more action points, which is really helpful. Movement's a big part of the game because you get a certain amount of action points, which allow you to move and attack and open doors and hack and all that kind of stuff. It's a really good game.
It is a really good game.
It's one of my favorites so far this year. I highly recommend it. And it blends so many different types of gameplay together. I think what was the best example you had, Dan?
It was a mix between XCOM and Shadowrun Returns.
Yes, Shadowrun Returns. Yeah, definitely. If you're familiar with those and you like them, I highly recommend it. And I think I could even argue that there's more going on gameplay-wise than there is in XCOM in Invisible Ink.
I could see that.
Is there combat in this game?
Yes.
Yeah, if you have weapons.
Different types of weapons that do different types of things. You can kill people, you can knock them out, you can pierce their armor. The whole hacking layer, like hacking various things to open certain areas, and
done much better than one thing I didn't like about Shadowrun Returns was the hacking where you go into like the cyberspace.
Yeah,
that's a whole separate like thing you have. I just thought that was a little too drawn out. Whereas I like the Invisible Ink model of it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple.
Yeah, not only like
simple, complex.
Exactly, and not only the gameplay being solid, but the polish. There's no issue with it. Really, yeah. I never ran into any bugs or jank or anything like that.
No.
Very impressive, and thank you for buying it, Dan.
Sure.
How much does that cost? 15?
I got it on sale. It was like 11, I think, when it first came out.
Well worth it.
Yeah, it was a steal. That's why I bought it. Because some of the gaming people I follow absolutely loved it, and it came out. I was like, that they had like the 30, I think it was like 30% off or something like that. I'm like, I have to buy it. I'm be stupid not to. So
it's one of those rare games that is real inexpensive, but I would be willing to pay $60 for it.
Yeah,
that's how much.
Made by the same company that made Don't Starve.
Yeah, that's how much I think it's worth.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing there. Definitely check it out. And then I played that game I kind of thought was real bad called Kolat. Will, you should read about the Dyatlov, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, pass incident, because I think you'd be really into it.
What happened here again? Was this the thing in Russia that...
Yeah, so it happened in 1959. There were a number of hikers who were hiking Kolat, I think it's Kolat Mountain. I think that's what they named the game after, and never came back. And they went and investigated, and just everything seemed real weird. Like the tent that they were in was ripped open from the inside, and the corpses were just scattered everywhere. There were a couple people that ran away into the forest and like climbed a tree and tried to build a fire, but they went in just their underwear, and they were found frozen. They don't know why. There were people that found one guy with his chest was totally caved in and crushed. And just like a bunch of weird stuff that they just have not been able to explain.
Yeah, see, I remember hearing about that. I used to watch the History Channel like religiously, and there was a documentary on that like really late at night, and that's why I had heard of the incident.
So somebody decided to make a video game about it.
About what happened?
About somebody trying to investigate what happened.
Okay.
And I think they gamed their reviews a little bit. Because I saw it on Steam first, and it got a 9 out of 10 out of 259 reviews. I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And I played it, and it's very much like a Dear Esther, minimal user interface. You're just you get a map. Your character has a map, and you're just walking around this area, going to different waypoints. And the coordinates are listed on your map that you need to go to. And you learn very quickly that once you discover all, I think there's maybe 10 of those coordinates, and go to them on the map, you will beat the game. And you do that, but there's like these creatures that show up and kill you, and what I kept thinking was that it's a Elder Scrolls mountain climbing simulator.
Okay.
Just so frustrating trying to get around places. And then these creatures kind of show up out of nowhere and kill you, and then you have to go back to the last checkpoint, which is real frustrating. And not only are you going to these coordinates that are listed on your map, but there's things, items, journal entries, news reports scattered throughout that you discover, which is normally okay, but these were just not interesting at all. It'd say things like, oh, today we blah, 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 and just like nothing worth reading. Like journal entries from the people that were the hikers, yeah.
It wasn't alluding to anything weird that might happen. It was just like, oh, we hiked up the mountain and made a fire, like that sort of thing.
Sort of, but it was too vague.
Okay.
Because they talk a little bit about, like, I watched a movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was like a fake documentary about people doing this exact thing, trying to discover what happened to these people. But there's a lot of allusions to like supernatural things going on. Yeah, I mean, in this video game, it's blatant. That's kind of they're going with that. Like, there's a mental institution, and people had some issues there, and I don't know. The game looks nice, but it was just terrible. I was so frustrated with it. About 2 hours in, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I kept dying. I couldn't get to the one checkpoint no matter how hard I tried. I kind of like the idea of just getting a map and you having to find your own way. There's no other way to get around. But it was just so frustrating when it's in a mountain. 2 hours in, I wanted to quit, but I looked up how long to beat, and it was only 4 hours. So I said, I can suck it up for another 2 hours to get through this. So I did beat it.
Hey, well done.
Cola.
Way to power through.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Kholat.
Kholat.
And the ending doesn't
tell you anything?
No. I didn't care for 4 hours of this game. I was just pissed off.
So the real world story is way cooler.
Which brings me back to my point about them gaming their reviews a little bit.
Yeah.
I find it so hard to believe this game legitimately has a 9 out of 10 on Steam. I'd probably give it like a 4 if I were to rate it. And I went to their Wikipedia, and the Wikipedia thing, there's not much about it, but in the reception section it says, several reviews of the game have been positive. Casual Gaming gave it a 9 out of 10. Gaming PC Forum gave it a 4 out of 5. Gamer Headlines gave it a 4 out of 5. And it has a Metacritic average score of 62 out of 100. So they list all these publications that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah.
Giving it fairly decent reviews. And then it fortunately says the Metacritic average score of 62 out of 100. And I even looked at the user score on Metacritic, and it was like a 7 point something.
Huh.
I think there's some jank going on there.
Right. Hey, you get all your whole development team, even if it's an indie studio with 8 or 10 people, to give the game a positive review on Steam or
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I like the idea of it, but it just didn't work for me. Poorly executed for sure. But I got a beaten game out of it, so whatever. Played another game called Frozen Cortex. It's a sports game, futuristic sports game. There's a ball. There's 2 teams, and what you do is you control every player on your team, and you give them the commands where you want them to move on a given turn, who's doing what, whether they're passing, blocking, whatever, and then you click play, and then you do the moves that you set up, and your opponent does the moves that they set up. It's actually kind of fun. I didn't play it that much to really go in depth with it, but that came out this year as well.
Yeah, that's familiar.
It's a little bit light on polish, but the actual gameplay is really good. You can preview all your plays before you actually follow through with them. I think it's 5-on-5 or maybe 6v6. I can't remember now. But it does a really good job of setting that scene of like a futuristic football almost.
Nice.
And that's what it is. There's like presentation. There's announcers that are very disinterested in what's going on, but like, I don't know. You're basically a coach and you're managing your team, or a manager, I should say.
That's cool.
But I don't know if I'll play that more, but I did like what I played. So check it out if that interests you at all. Downloaded Fallout 3. I wanted to play Guild Wars 2, but I couldn't remember my login info. And you had to submit a report, and Dan said it took 3 days. And I was like, you know what? I don't care that much. So I didn't. So I downloaded Dan's Fallout 3 instead on Steam. And got a bunch of mods for it. The biggest one... Are any of you guys playing Fallout 3 with mods?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
First of all, it's a real big pain. I spent probably about 3 hours downloading, installing, manipulating everything I needed to do.
Getting it to work.
Yeah, I had to edit like an application file to tell it to use all of my memory rather than 2 gigabytes of memory. Same with processing power. I was editing INI files, downloading script extenders and copying and pasting files over into that. It was real annoying, but I think it paid off because that game looks really nice and it's really fun. The most important mod you need to get if you have Fallout 3 on PC is the Fallout mod, which removes the green tint from the game.
Oh, okay.
And just that on its own makes the game look so much better.
Okay. I can imagine that would be helpful.
I got a few others. I got more music, more radio music, which is cool. Trying to think what else. Nothing like gameplay wise. I didn't want to mess with that too much. I wanted to experience the game as it was, just more
a little bit improved,
prettier, and I don't even know if I downloaded any user interface stuff. I got weather, like rain and I think snow as one of them. I think I did one for AI that really improved the AI. Like if you stealth kill someone, the people around them will react rather than just acting like nothing happened.
Carry on.
Yep, and they'll search for you if you like attack them and then run away. Like they won't just give up; they'll keep looking for you. Just some more realistic stuff. And I downloaded one that I don't think I'm going to use it, but it's one that makes it more realistic. Didn't New Vegas have like a hardcore mode?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's something like that, where you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to drink, all that stuff.
Yeah, New Vegas did that.
Some texture packs.
Is there a Nerf Fox?
A what?
Nerf Fox mod?
I don't know, what's that?
Fox? You don't remember Fox?
Oh, is that the like big mutated dude?
Super mutant that had the laser Gatling gun and just murdered anything that got near you.
Yeah.
When you need to have a weapon.
Nice. I'm sure that mod exists
Somewhere.
but no, I didn't get it. But I only played that for like 5 minutes.
After you finally got it up and running.
Yeah. Well, I did the tutorial, and then I think the first time I played it, I ended up killing the overseer, which
really?
I didn't do this time. He was attacking me with a baseball bat as I left. It's just
nice.
That early on in the game, they don't do enough damage really to kill you. So he was following me around the vault as I was leaving, just hitting me with a baseball bat. It's kind of funny, but looking forward to having a long afternoon with that game. And the last thing, Terraria released its 1.3 patch. I haven't really played it at all. I just set up a map in a online game. Will, you got to join me.
I'm ready.
I'll join you. Can we like just jump into the server anytime?
You can connect through Steam now.
Oh,
okay.
Thank God.
So there's an option in the menu that just like play over Steam or play with friends or something, and you just I hope it's as easy as just clicking your friend and sending them an invite. We'll see.
Okay.
But I made a large world. I wanted to talk more about the changes that were coming, but I forgot to list them in my notes. But I made a large world and did expert mode. Just makes things a little bit harder.
Which means if you die, you're dead?
No.
Harder?
So expert mode is more like the bosses scale to how many people are playing, and
Gotcha.
I can't remember some of the other things that they did. Just makes it more of a challenge overall.
That game was kind of hard to begin with, Corey.
It was until there were like 5 of us.
And then we all had the Terra Blade with the best armor.
Yeah. But they did a ton of stuff to that game. I talked about it last week, but 800 new items, lots of gameplay changes, streamlined a lot of things, tweaked a lot of the weapons to make a lot more of them more viable. Because I think it kind of turned out in the last one there was just like 1 or 2 weapons that you wanted to use.
Yeah. That game's still so good.
There's a portal gun now. Yeah, but they made it really easy to upload your characters and the worlds that you create to the cloud. So that was the first thing I did. I made a character called Phil J. Fry, and I made him look like Fry.
Nice.
So I uploaded him to the cloud, and then uploaded the large world that I made to the cloud. So it's easily bootable on my PC or on my laptop.
It's
Nice.
always there.
Yes, sir. And that's all I played. What?
What day are you coming in?
Friday.
Maybe we'll play Friday night.
I'm ready to play tonight.
Maybe we'll play tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's it.
All right. Feedback time.
Sure.
You do feedback after what we played, right?
Yes, sir. Would you looking to me?
Yeah. You want to call it up, Corey? It's probably easier for you to get it than me. Right?
Yeah, I guess. I know we got a couple late emails. This one comes from Idaho Jake. Hey guys, I am still playing ESO and it gets better the more I play. Last week I said that I wish they had a quick weapon swap and I hit level 15 and boom, quick weapon swap. So now I can go from my bow to my axe by pushing the left D-pad.
Nice.
Unlocking features as you go. Now for Just Cause 2. I downloaded free for my 360 and wow, fucking wow, I wish I got into this game when it came out. Graphics, even on the 360, are actually great and the world is so damn big. I think it is GTA 5 graphics with Saints Row controls and it makes for one amazing game. I'm definitely pre-ordering Just Cause 3. I recommend this to everyone who likes video games. Now for Question of the Week. I guess I'll save that until we do Question of the Week.
Yeah, I really like Just Cause 2, Jake. It was one of my 4 in February games. Played on PC. Other than the crashing, it was an awesome game. And he's absolutely right on the money with GTA World and Saints Row controls because it does control a little bit more like Saints Row than it does Grand Theft Auto, which is, for me, a good thing.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. It's a playground. It's a sandbox. You just create chaos, and it's awesome.
And grapple everything with the grappling hook.
Yep, the grappling hook is fantastic. So, good stuff.
Sorry, I'm not prepared to. I'm just trying to find all the feedback.
I was gonna get it together, but I only just set up the studio like a minute before we started. So,
yeah, I was doing my notes. Because I was on the phone all evening trying to figure out Friday.
oh yeah,
I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault. I know we have one from Tito in LA,
yep.
but I don't see it.
On Facebook,
Yeah.
email wasn't it?
Was it Facebook? Was it voicemail? Email?
I think it was an email.
I don't see it.
Should be in our feedback folder, or maybe it's still in the inbox.
Oh, the feedback folder. I forgot that we had that. I'm the one that sends everything to it too.
I was gonna say I never use it.
You yell at Eric all the time to use it.
Nope, I don't see it.
Huh.
Check trash. Maybe hopefully someone didn't accidentally delete it.
Well, he had just sent it in.
Yeah.
Trash. Nope.
Really?
Yeah,
It's gone?
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I remember he said something about how he found us. He did a search.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
Wait, June 29th? Yeah, that's it. Tito from LA here. Sorry, Tito.
Yeah, we got it.
I thought I'd give some feedback based off some really old episodes I've been listening to. On how I found out about you, we asked on our episode from a couple months ago.
Yeah,
think
we've asked
so.
that a few times, I think, as for people to let us know how they found us.
I found you guys on Stitcher. First episode I listened to was the BioShock Infinite episode using their keyword search. So glad I found this podcast. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Tito.
Thanks, Tito.
That was something we talked about before we even started, that we wanted
Yeah.
our episodes to have
Topic based.
topics.
So if you're searching for something specific, like a game, or when we do other things, like if you're doing a search for the Nintendo NX, like our podcast could come up for Nintendo NX speculation.
Yeah.
I want to have, because like a lot of the gaming podcasts will just be like episode 60, and that doesn't mean anything if you're doing searches.
Right.
Especially with us, we don't, we're not like Destructoid, or we don't have a following to get away with doing something like that.
How dare you?
Well, you know what I mean. We
Yeah.
didn't have a built-in audience, especially when we started.
Yeah, it's just as much marketing as it is simplifying, like giving
Exactly.
people the opportunity. People that can't listen to every single episode, and
Yeah, they can pick and choose.
I know it's crazy, but might care what we have to say about something, can just find that and see what we think.
Yeah. Yep.
Top 5 PlayStation 1 games. This is one of the first episodes we did. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it's vague for me too.
Tito lists his 5. Crash Team Racing is his number 5. Where Mario Kart excelled at the racing, Crash Team Racing excelled at the battling. So much fun. It also had a campaign with a story that had a mix of races, where you had to beat the boss or actually battle them in their battle arena mode. There was also a world map you could drive around in. I honestly think it was better than Mario Kart at the time. That sounds awesome. If Mario Kart had a story mode...
Yeah, a lot of people love that game. That's really like cult following type of game.
I might have to look into that.
Yeah. Just buy an old copy from somewhere. Play it on a emulator.
With with a world map that you could, a Mario Kart game with like a world map that you could drive around in and do like story races.
Story mode would be great for Mario Kart. Absolutely right.
Now we're talking. Number 4, Rival Schools. Awesome fighting game that was probably the first to use the tag team system. But what made the game fun was the awesome mini games that I was addicted to. Not familiar with that at all.
Someone else brought up, when we were talking about our favorite PlayStation 1 game, someone else brought up Rival Schools.
Yeah, I feel
I don't remember who it was, but someone else, that was on someone else's list. Definitely.
that's interesting.
Not one of ours, but it
No,
was
no.
one of our listeners.
Number 3, apropos, is Breath of Fire 3. Great game, never beat it, need to. I played 1 and 2 were Super Nintendo games, right?
Yes, or one was Nintendo, one was Super Nintendo. Yeah, those are the only ones I played too.
Yeah, bits and pieces of them.
Very briefly. Yeah.
Yeah, never really got sucked into it. I always get Breath of Fire confused with Lufa.
Yep.
Remember the Lufa series?
Yep. Lufa 2, Rise of the Sinistrals.
Yeah. Number 2, Lunar Silver Star Story Complete. Damn, I really enjoyed this game. Cutscenes were actually hand-drawn anime, which was really cool and had great voice acting. Story was enjoyable. It was a very quaint game that, unlike Breath of Fire 3 and Xenogears, I managed to finally beat. Even contributed to the Game Fact section after it had been out for over a decade. That's hardcore.
That is hardcore. And I had that game, actually.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Yeah, didn't it come in like a really cool package?
It was one of the fat cases, because I think it had like 3 discs or 4 discs or something like that. So it's the fatter PlayStation game cases.
I'm thinking of, didn't you have Ark the Lad in a really cool case?
Sounds familiar. I don't know. Maybe. But I did have that game. I don't know that I ever got into it, but that was in the time when I had my PlayStation, and I feel like every week me and Graham and Eric would go over to GameStop, buy a bunch of games. So I bought a bunch of games, and I didn't play most of them. I think that was when I like played for a day and then moved on to the next game.
Yeah.
So when I first started earning my own money and just blowing it on
Everything.
any game I could buy. Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I had infinite time so I could go back and play all these
Yep. Me too.
classic JRPGs.
Yep.
Number 1, Xenogears. Tried to replay it so I can finally say I beat it. That was about a year ago. Stopped at around the same spot I did when I was a kid. Ugh. Hands down the best RPG story ever. So many interesting themes and storylines. It's filled with so many different things and playstyles, and when you think they go lost on you and can't answer or tie up all the storylines, their Deus Ex Machina answers everything in such a cool way. Felt like a real odyssey, much like Final Fantasy VII. I recommend this game for Corey. I think he'd dig it. I believe I played Xenogears.
Yeah.
On my PlayStation 3, I think I downloaded it from the PlayStation Store.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one with mechs, right?
Yeah.
But it's like Final Fantasy Tactics with mechs?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I did play it briefly. I wish I had played it when it came out, because I think you're right. I think I would have loved it.
That's on, like, if you do a search for top PlayStation games, that's on pretty much everybody's list. That game. It's widely regarded one of the best RPGs of all time. So,
and then he adds at the bottom, Final Fantasy VII isn't listed because I actually played the PC version. That's weird.
It's weird to think that they came out with a PC version like around when the PlayStation version came out.
I remember it. I played it. Jared Needham had it. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay.
He did. Honorable mentions, Jet Moto. Such a fun game at the time. Not familiar with Jet Moto at all.
I vaguely remember that one.
Thanks for that, Tito.
Yeah, thanks,
Good,
Tito.
Good thoughts. I think I read it all. Who knows?
Yeah, if anyone else is going back and listening to old episodes, feel free to chime in about that stuff.
Yeah, we used to do our top 5s for. We should do one of those one of these days.
We should, for old systems. I think we left off with Xbox and PlayStation 2. No, we did PlayStation. I don't even know if we did Xbox.
I don't know.
The original?
I'll have to look on. Yeah, I'll have to look on our episode list because I have no idea.
We didn't.
We didn't do Xbox. We just did PlayStation.
I think so.
Nintendo 64. I don't think 64.
I don't know.
We'll go back and look and maybe add those to our
Repertoire.
Yeah, our episode list. We won't have a lot of games coming out this summer, so.
Yeah, I really don't know. I think that's it.
That's it for feedback.
I believe. I apologize if I missed anybody. Oh, we've got some question of the week answers. Okay. Do we want to get right into that, or do we want to run through this roundtable that I have?
Let's do the roundtable.
It's still relatively early, isn't it?
Yeah. We're at 1 hour and 50, but it's fine.
So GameSpot did this article that I pulled from, games missing from E3. I only pulled the ones that I was interested in. Some of them I didn't even know anything about, so must not have been that big of a deal. Homefront: The Revolution.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys care about Homefront?
No.
No, but I forgot that game existed, actually.
I like the idea of it, but
yeah,
I don't think the execution is ever as good as the idea sounds.
I don't think anybody was missing it at E3. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Dead Island 2. That's one I forgot about, but I'm surprised it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for the best. What?
That was supposed to come out this year, I think.
Yeah. Maybe it's for the best. You know, maybe they're a ways off and don't want to show anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we never saw gameplay of that, right? They just had that one cool teaser trailer.
There's some gameplay.
Really?
Yeah, not a lot, but...
Oh. Okay. Bravely Second End Layer, probably because it's already out in Japan.
Bravely Second was on the Nintendo Treehouse. I did watch some Bravely Second.
Oh, okay.
So it was there, but not. I don't think like on the show floor. It was only you could watch their Treehouse.
Deep Down.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Deep Down in a while.
Not present. That's Capcom's free to play, right? RPG.
Yeah, for PlayStation.
Looked cool when we saw it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I think they showed us a little bit of it last year too.
Yeah.
One I was looking forward to seeing some more of was The Witness, Jonathan Blow's next maybe masterpiece.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's supposed to come out relatively soon, though. I guess they're ready to go. So
good.
We shall see. Hazelight's next project. Hazelight did Brothers: Tale of Two Sons.
Uh-huh.
They teased They teased their new game at the Game Awards last year, but nothing about it here. I would have liked to see what they're working on. New God of War was confirmed also last year, but we didn't see any of that. Curiously.
Yeah.
Overwatch. Blizzard had a good opportunity to show some Overwatch at the PC conference.
Yeah, PC gaming, and they talked about Heroes and StarCraft too.
I think that's gonna be their BlizzCon thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
probably right.
I forget they have their own convention, don't they?
Yeah, because they're. I think once BlizzCon, they said the beta will be in the fall.
Yeah.
So
I'm really excited for Overwatch.
they keep like every couple of days they release gameplay of
New characters.
New characters.
Yeah.
Are they? Do they have an active beta right now?
No. Beta starts in
the fall.
Oh.
At least that's what they said at PAX East when they had their panel.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to play in beta because once it's released, I won't want to.
Yeah, I'm probably the same way.
And then the last one is Inside. That's Playdead, who did Limbo. That's their project, which I'm curious to see more of. I really loved Limbo.
Yeah.
And that was announced last year. And I think there was a little bit of it. Yeah, there was a teaser for it, but there's nothing at E3 this year for it.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
Microsoft had a few that were absent too. Some of their bigger titles, Crackdown,
Quantum Break,
and there was another one that we can never remember.
I think
that they're going to show at Gamescom.
They weren't even on the show floor.
I don't think so.
Why didn't GameStop write about them?
I don't know. Maybe because we knew going into it that they wanted to be there, because I think Microsoft even said before E3 even started that they weren't going to have those. They were saving them for Gamescom. So
yeah, fair enough.
Which is in August. So we'll have to do a Gamescom recap too, because that's a big one. There'll be some big announcements there. It's in I think it's in Germany.
Yeah, it is in
next month.
Yeah, August. Oh, I should know the city, but I can't think of it off
the one that starts with a C.
I don't think so.
It is.
Oh,
100%.
Oh, Cologne.
Yeah.
That's Germany, right?
Yep. Because I don't think I would have said that city if it didn't stick out.
I was thinking something else. I don't know. I only got 2 hours of sleep last night. Don't judge me. Okay. Question of the week.
Question of the week. This past week was, what is your victory song? Miguel in Spain. What city is Miguel from?
I don't know if he ever specified what city he's from in Spain.
He did, but I don't remember. Miguel, let us know what city you live in.
Yeah.
The first thing it comes to my mind is the fanfare of Final Fantasy VIII, and I don't know if the sound of opening a chest in a Zelda game qualifies as a fanfare. Well, the good news, Miguel, is that whatever you want to qualify qualifies. So if you want the sound of opening a chest in a Zelda game to be your fanfare, it's all yours. Any of the Final Fantasy fanfares are good. It doesn't have to be a video game song, though. I mean, I ran through a couple songs I wanted to be my victory song that are pop. You know?
I actually was listening to a lot of the orchestral Final Fantasy music this week. For some reason, I just had a hankering for it, and piano too.
It's good stuff, right?
Yeah, piano arrangements for a lot of the classic Final Fantasy songs are really well done.
He's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan in Iowa says easy Chelsea Dagger, and then he posted on our Facebook 8-bit remix cover of Chelsea Dagger to fit the video game theme. Idaho Jake says Warrior's Call by Volbeat. Will?
I don't know Volbeat. I know what kind of music they play though.
Okay.
So it's a thumbs up for me.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Then he adds in some moods, the theme song to Skyrim. Yeah, that's good stuff. Although I like the Morrowind theme more.
Yeah.
Is it the same?
Yeah, it sounds different, but it's the same song, I guess. Mm-hmm. For Oblivion too.
I think that's all of the answers.
Okay. Well, what's yours, Corey?
Well, originally I kept thinking of like depressing songs. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, well, that's not a good fanfare. Like I was thinking more along the lines of like theme songs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just came up with a bunch of depressing songs. But if I was forced to pick like a victory song, I quickly looked at my Spotify.
Okay.
Touchdown Boy by Blink-182.
Oh, that's a great song.
Thought that would be a pretty good
That's a
victory
great
song.
song. Yeah.
My Friends Over You,
Uh-huh.
Newfound Glory. Just that
You
intro,
know-
I think, would be really good.
Oh, yeah, we listened to Newfound Glory at on Guys Weekend. A couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Just that. That'd be a good victory song. The New York
Yeah.
Rangers goal song would be a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And the only other one I thought of was Mott the Hoople's All the Young Dudes.
I don't know that one.
You'd know it if you heard it. All the young dudes.
Oh yeah.
carry the
Okay. Yeah, I do know that song.
do, do, do. And that's what I came up with.
Okay. What about you, Will?
Boyfriend by Justin Bieber.
I don't know that song.
You don't know Boyfriend, Dan?
No.
It's,
I'm really out
hey,
of
you, I don't like your boyfriend.
That's Avril
That's
Lavigne, and it's her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh.
I happen to love that song, so how dare you? How,
How
dare
dare
you
you-
equate Avril Lavigne to Justin Bieber? I have that CD.
Corey, that's very offensive.
Take it back.
I take it back. Wait, is that who's that offensive to? Avril Lavigne or Bieber?
I don't know. Both, probably.
People who are fans of both would be offended.
I'm offended as a Avril Lavigne. That was actually a decent record. That record. It's okay. Shut up.
I'm not judging you.
I know.
I
I don't care anyway.
I don't-
I really don't listen to that much music.
I don't hate on people's music.
Mine would be the Foggy Dew. You familiar with the Foggy Dew?
Negative.
No, sir.
It's like an Irish song. It's specifically the Sinead O'Connor version. It's really good. Listen to it. It's really freaking good.
I believe you. I'm into all that stuff. It's just funny.
It's a very Irish, Celtic song, and with kind of haunting a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and the way she sings it. Whatever band she was in at the time that did Foggy Dew, it's really good. Listen to it when you're done, Corey. You'll know the song because there's a lot of the Irish, like I think the Dropkick Murphys did a version of the Foggy Dew.
Uh-huh.
So you'll probably know the song. Actually, when I saw the Dropkick Murphys here in Binghamton, they opened with that. They played the Sinead O'Connor version of the Foggy Dew. I was like, "What is this song? It's fantastic!"
Wait, they played in Binghamton?
Yeah, they played at Magic City Music Hall. Me and Val and our cousin Chris went.
Wow, I didn't know that. What brought them here?
I don't know, but it was awesome.
That
pretty
place
cool.
that place used to get a lot of good acts, actually.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Huh.
Didn't like Snoop go there too?
I don't know. There was quite a few big acts that came there.
Snoop Lion?
It was just like a open floor bar. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't the greatest place, but it was decent.
Yeah,
And I got to see the Dropkick Murphys there.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
They must have had a good promoter working there or something.
Yeah, definitely. Because they had some like really. I don't remember the artist, but Val went to see a really popular artist there,
Yeah.
whose name I will never remember. But at the time, like 10 years ago, he was really big.
Garth Brooks.
No, it was some singer guy. I don't know.
Some singer
know.
guy.
Yeah.
Harry Connick Jr.
No, it was like 10 years ago.
I got nothing.
I should know, but I don't. So
Tito in the chat has wanted to add what?
what do you got, Tito?
Back in Black by AC/DC.
That's
He
a good
says,
song.
yeah, he says he has the intro on his cell phone.
Oh,
So
cool.
whenever I say something really cool, I play that quick couple seconds while I slide sunglasses on and walk away all cool like.
Fantastic. Dude, that's a great idea.
Drop the mic moment.
Drop the mic, yeah. All right. Is that everything?
New question of the week
Yeah, let's hear it.
for next week. The protagonist of the last video game you beat is your new roommate. What do you do to your place to accommodate them?
Oh, jeez.
This is a great question.
What's the last game you beat, Will?
I don't remember. I'd have to look at my list.
Yeah, I can look.
I'm gonna say it's a while back, isn't it?
Yeah, I got to like 20 and then I just stopped.
The Foggy Dew is the Chieftains with Sinead O'Connor singing it. I'll play it after the episode ends.
Yeah.
You guys can hear it.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, Will, the last game you beat?
Because Dan's is Batman, right?
Yep, mine's Batman. Heroes of the Storm.
Oh my god.
That doesn't have a protagonist.
Okay,
So Duet was before that. Does
Nope.
it have a Diablo 3? That doesn't really have a protagonist either.
Yeah, your character that you played.
Yeah.
My female wizard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that works.
Feel free to be creative with it. I mean,
You know I'm full of creativity.
If you had done this last week, it would have been Geralt
Oh god.
from The Witcher 3.
you could never accommodate Geralt.
No. I don't know if I can accommodate Batman, but we'll get it figured out this weekend.
Do you have my beaten games on there, Dan?
Yeah.
What are the last ones you have?
Colat,
And
Invisible Ink,
Invisible Ink,
Massive
and
Chalice.
Massive Chalice, and Axiom Verge you got on there?
Verge, yep.
All right. So what was the last one I beat? It was Colat. I got a pretty good idea of what I'm going to do to that protagonist.
Yeah. Especially not having like the game. All right. That everything?
I think so. If we missed your feedback, please let us know. We didn't do it intentionally.
Yeah. Eric compiles our feedback, so we're kind of scattered without Eric compiling our feedback. So we missed it for that reason. If we did miss any, I don't know.
Just tweet Eric angrily.
Yeah. Yep. All right. That'll do it for episode 206 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
Will.
Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement. All right. I will play Foggy Dew by the Chieftains.